Our mountain road building project continues to take twists and turns. Before we actually get to laying the concrete or the asphalt for the actual road, we have to finish our two preliminary projects, the septic tank construction and the second level parking pad construction. We've essentially got those forms and all that construction readiness done, and now we're just waiting for the concrete. We are scheduled for next Tuesday. However, we've got 4 days open now, actually 3 days. We were rained out yesterday. So we are going to try to tackle a staircase as well this week. If we can get it formed up and prepped in time for the concrete, great. We'll make use of the concrete pour day as well for the staircase. If we can't, we'll still get a long ways toward having better access to the house. It would be great if we could have stairs up here to the house. This is ultimately where our access to the house is going to be. From the parking pad, straight up a set of stairs to house level. I would love to tackle this week. It's a very steep slope, and we intend to use these Izunoishi rocks, these rectangular shaped rocks that were quarried who knows how many decades or centuries ago. But we were hoping to use them as steps to get up here. And I don't know how to incorporate them with a concrete pour. I would prefer to do a concrete pour because I think it will be easier. But I would love to have those rocks as part of the stairs. So I'm thinking this through right now. We got a bunch of stuff up there that's just really in the way. We've got this deck here, and I don't want to cut this deck up, although I can remove the deck completely. And we also have the mini dump, which is dead in the water for now. And I can't get the excavator up there to pull it out of the way. Okay, all in, that took about an hour. And now I have to get rid of the mini dump. And I think that means putting a hook and a cable on it and winching it from one of these trees up here. Okay, we're trying a new rigging setup. I'm back at my old favorite spot down there for the winch. The winch knows that tree, balance is correct. Let's see if we can make it happen down there. I've got the line tied to the mini dump right here and through a pulley up on the tree. And all I want to do is drag it about 2 meters over this way. Okay, well, it dragged it about a meter and a half, and that got hairy at the end. I'm glad it got hairy and it stopped because we were about to pull it to the edge and it would have rolled down in between those two trees. I've got a cable tied to the back end with a little bit of play in it. I think about half a meter's worth of play in it. So just in case it decides it wants to go over the edge, that'll stop it. And I've got the wire hooked up to the winch up there, so now I'm just going to go up there and start winding away. Okay, we're swapping out the rope. There's way too much play in it for this steel cable. The steel cable isn't short enough, or isn't long enough to go down to my previous point. So I'm going to attach it to this tree right here. Okay, this was a bit of a challenge, but it is safely out of the way, far enough that we can start working on the stairs. Michan is just about finished chaining up the forms, and then we have to rescue one palm tree, and then we've already talked about kind of what we want to do and how we want to do it, so we'll just get after it. Okay, we've finally done enough thinking and talking and cleaning up to get started with this. I've set a board here at about 45-degree angle, and that should allow us to get about 250 mil height and 300 mil depth of each step to get us up 10 steps to about there. I don't think I've showed this before. But here's a very quick and dirty little design I did. Yeah, we want to have about 10 steps that go up to a platform area. 10 steps, like I said, 30 high, 25 deep, and then a level area to allow us to, turn somehow, somewhere, and then the final 3 or 4 steps to the top. And if we do it this way, we're gonna go at a 90-degree angle to this line, and so go into the mountain. Of course, it's rock there, we're gonna have to dig it out. But if we keep the steps right to about there, then we still have access for the excavator to get in and out of here for the rest of the construction anyway. It doesn't have to be forever, but for a while. Michio is always very concerned about the dirt. Where are we gonna put the dirt? And that's a very real concern. We're not going to move too much of it in this initial cut. We just want to kind of smooth it out, take out a little bit, and see, first of all, how far into the rock we have to dig, and then if our slope makes sense or not. This weather is not giving us a break. Is really exciting for me. It's stimulating, it's informative, educational. I just love watching him work in the excavator because he's just so good. You notice he's barely touching the side that is against our guide. He's taking out the grass and the roots so he can see the earth, but he's not digging down. He's digging deeper on the farther side because that's where we have to, the angle of the stairs is such that we have to go deep on that side in order to maintain a flat set of stairs. He cleans the brush debris separately from the big rocks. He cleans the big rocks separately from the dirt. And this is just a beautiful thing. It helps us to prepare the steps as they go across that way. So 28と、高さは23になる。うん。こんなもんだじゃん。これが。Well, yesterday we quickly changed our mind about having the curve in the staircase, and we prepared the site for just a straight run. However, I think we may change that again once we start putting the stones in, because many of these stones are wider than our planned 30 centimeters for the tread. And once we start stacking them in there, if they're all wider, the staircase is going to go longer, therefore it's going to go lower, and we may still have to put in a landing of some sort. But we made great progress yesterday. Today we're back, it's sunny and it's beautiful, and today and tomorrow is supposed to be good weather. So we got some supplies to pick up, some sand and some cement for fixing the rocks in. And we're gonna start pulling the rocks out right now and choosing which ones to put where, and work is getting started. Okay. Well, we're learning that we probably won't have enough inventory of these rocks. And we're going to have to do a lot of 2 rock steps or even a 3 rock step in order to fill out the width that we want. And so therefore, we've been discussing what do we do for the infill? How do we hold them all together? And also how do we make it look good? Well, this really is the evolution of a mountain staircase, evolution of thinking and of the product itself. We've gone through so many discussions and changes on what we're going to do. Let me just summarize it all for you. So, yes, we do not have enough inventory of rocks to make a complete rock staircase, but we have enough to use these rocks in an ornamental fashion. So what we talked about yesterday then was, let's pour a concrete staircase and we'll place ornamental squares of Izuno Ishi on the side of each step. Okay, so we see them there, we remember the heritage, we appreciate it, but yet we still have a beautiful new cast in place concrete staircase. But the problem is, even though this looks beautiful, and I love it, I love this, it's so smooth and straight, and it's all done with the excavator. I marvel at his skills. But this is steep, and each step in the plan, and with this angle that we've cut, is 250 mil high, so that's almost 10 inches, which is a high step to take. Now, we're on a mountain. It's a steep mountain, and so that's just the way it is, perhaps. But even with that thinking, I worry about Aimee. She has much shorter legs than me, and as we get older, we don't want this to be a chore. So then we come to a new set of choices. Do we lessen the height of each stair to make it easier to climb, which means that the staircase starts to slope more? And either that means the bottom of the staircase gets pushed out more into this pathway, or the top of the staircase gets pushed out much farther towards the house, which makes then going up, exiting this staircase, making a kind of a real tight S, and then getting to the staircase that goes up through the deck to the house. It really is not, both of those scenarios are not good. For the next year, we need this access here for the excavator and for various, transporting materials and stuff. We can't have a staircase punching into the middle of it. So the thinking we've come to now is, let's build a staircase right here, because we need a staircase. Let's build it out of scrap wood, because we have lots of scrap wood, and let's build it to the 250 mil height stair that we've got in the plan for the poured staircase. And we pin it down, we make it solid, we make it safe, and we use it for the next year of construction. And that will allow us to judge whether or not the 250 mil step is really killer or not. 1 year from now, when the house is finished and all the deck and everything is finished, this no longer becomes a requirement for the Yumbo. So if we have to shorten the steps on this staircase and have it start way out here in the middle of this area, then maybe we make that decision then. But for now, we're going to build the staircase, a temporary staircase, and make it 250 high, 300 wide treads, and start using it. Since we're going with wood, we decided we're going to put some preservative on it to see if we can make these boards last a year. Here in Shimoda, wood just breaks down really quickly. I've got so much firewood hanging around different parts. Granted, it's uncovered, but still, wood just deteriorates really quickly. Had to call the rental agency to tell them that their cutter wouldn't start. They just did a service call out here, replaced it with a new one that starts readily, so now I can start cutting the blocks. Okay, that's a pretty good first result. It was pretty quick, a little bit dusty, but pretty easy actually. So I'm going to go through and make as many 12-inch square blocks as I can. Shimoda first became famous in Japan in the 1600s. At that time it was just a fishing village. There was no access to the town except by boat. It was a port town and several thousand people only. And it became famous because of its rock quarries. And these rocks, Izuno-ishi, were all being used to build the then Emperor's Palace in Tokyo. The Tokugawa shogun, I guess he was. He wasn't called the emperor, but the Tokugawa shogun made the decision to use Izu no Ishi, these rocks here on the Izu Peninsula, to build the walls and the moat of the castle in Tokyo at the time. So at that time, Shimoda became very famous and became very wealthy as a small town. And it was like 200 years later when the Americans came and set up the first consulate in Japan here in Shimoda that they had their kind of second spot of fame in the national eye. And now we're a small, simple surfing community where I live and love. Because there were no roads between Shimoda and Tokyo, they used boats, and they would ferry the rocks from here to there. So all around the peninsula, the Izu Peninsula, there are small towns that grew into ports very quickly because they were near mines that were shipping rocks to Tokyo. That's a very nice square now. Very manageable, easy to carry, easy to lug around. I think I'll probably get 50 of them. And I think for this staircase, in the way that I envisioned, I only need about 26 or 30. So I'll just make extra and use them wherever. I like this project. We've got another activity going on today, Saturday. Our pump truck has arrived and they want to set up their hoses and pipes. So because we're doing a different location for this pour, they are trying to figure it out. So they're testing a couple of locations.そうだね。どうやってどっち側？中側？これがこっち側ね。じゃなくてこの棒の。棒のこっち側。OK。そういうこと。を止めます。で、僕は今ラジェットを持ってません。何を持ってません？ラジェットを持ってません。お。Okay. Big bend in the board. But of course we can fix that pretty easily. So we painted these not for the wonderful brown color, but to protect them from the elements for the next year. Here comes the last one. We have a freeloader.
どこにいるの？
今ここにいる。お、
あ、カマキリね。
ごめん。逃げた。 So we have been all over the map on this staircase, stairway, planning and design and execution. I'm really happy with the results that we've got to so far. We don't have the treads in. I had to special order the treads for a 250 mil width from our sawyer, and today's Saturday, he wasn't working today and tomorrow, so we'll get them on Monday. But we'll put the treads in here on Monday probably, and then we'll have a working staircase. It's been a roller coaster of planning and ideas and consultation and mind changes and just thinking through the implications of everything. It was pretty stimulating, the whole thing. I'm glad I had Michio-san with me to go through all that, and I'm glad he was very patient with all of my thoughts and ideas. So yeah, we didn't get the staircase done completely, but we do have now access from the parking level to the house, and in just a couple of days we'll have full access with stairs. So thanks everybody for hanging around. I just wanted to say there's a lot of new viewers popping in these days. I don't know that you're all subscribing, but I see that there's like 60% of my views these days are coming from new viewers. So please welcome to the channel. I hope you enjoy it. Please subscribe if you do enjoy it. The liking thing, smash that like button at any time. And everybody, just have a great week.